Welcome back to Knitting Nicely. I'm Danielle Chauvet, your knitting coach. Today we're going to learn how to graft the beginning of an I-cord to the end of an I-cord using Kitchener stitch.
Now you can see that these two edges are pretty much coming together. Okay, now when we're doing now it's time to do our graft. So when we're doing a Kitchener graft, you want to keep in mind that the whole purpose of a Kitchener graft is to match the V's so that it almost looks like it's continuous, like it's not, like there's no join there. And the way to do that is to follow the let's see, let me see how to put this. You want to follow the way the yarn is going in your stitches. So as you can see on this portion, and I did overstuff my pillow, stitches in a stockinette stitch pattern make sort of a wiggly line. So if you follow that line around, it's up and over and down around, up, down, okay? So when you're grafting with a Kitchener, you're following that line. It's like a wiggly line with your tail and your sewing needle, your yarn needle. Because this line of V's and this line of V's are what you're grafting with the new line, okay? So this, if you can kind of keep in mind where that line needs to go, around these two, and around these two, and around these two, and around these two. I hope that's kind of clear. So you're gonna need to cut a length of yarn that's gonna be long enough to go around, 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 around. So I like, since there's only 4 stitches, there's not a whole lot, but I like a little extra so that I can weave that end in at the end. So I'm gonna get out about, let's see, that's about 12 inches of yarn. Cut that, grab my yarn needle and thread it through, okay? Now, this yarn is coming from this last stitch, okay? You can see that there. It's coming out of that last stitch. If I pull on it, you can see it. See that? Moving from there. So, where would this yarn go if it was a continuous, around my I-cord edge? This yarn would go around behind these two legs, I guess you could say, of this mountain V-stitch. So that's where I'm going to put this yarn. It's going to go behind these two legs of this mountain. I'm going to pull that through. So now, if you can imagine, this yarn needs to go around these two legs of this V, okay? This is a loop V for this, and it's hard to see, but there's a loop over here too, right there. This yarn coming off of here needs to go between those two. So we're gonna go through this stitch as if to purl. Make sure you don't split the yarn. We're gonna slip it off the end, and then we're gonna go through this stitch as if to knit. Okay. Don't slip that off the end, keep that one on, but pull your yarn through, okay? Now the next part is we're gonna go through these two legs of the next V. Okay, see these two legs coming off here? This one and this one? I'm gonna go through those two. Try not to split your yarn. I know I keep saying that, but with this alpaca, it's pretty easy to do. Okay, and we're gonna go through those 2 legs. Whoops, I even got cut up on my needle. Okay. And pull that tight. You don't have to pull it super tight because when we're done grafting, we're gonna go back and kind of adjust our stitches to make them at the same tension as the rest of our stitches. Okay, now we're gonna go through this stitch that we previously went through knitwise. We're gonna go through it purlwise and slip it off the end of this needle. So purlwise this way, slip it off, and then go through this stitch knitwise, but don't slip it off. Leave it on your needle and pull your thread through. Okay, and give it a little tug, but not too tight. If you go too tight, you're gonna make that stitch disappear, and we don't want that. We want that to show. Okay, that's our new little grafted stitch right there. Okay, now you need to turn your work a little bit because we're going around this I-cord. Okay, and the next V is right here. That's one leg, that's the other leg. Go through that one. I know it's kind of hard to see on this edge here, but it's there. See those 2 legs? Go through that, pull it all the way through. And again, don't pull it too tight because you can adjust to that tension later on. Now we're going to go through this stitch again purlwise and off the end. Go through this stitch knitwise. Don't take it off yet. Okay, pull it all the way through. Then there's no more stitches here, right? They're gone. Oh no, what do I do? Okay, so what you're gonna do is we're gonna hide this last one on the inside because this is an I-cord. Okay, so we're just gonna hide this. You can kind of see these are your purl bumps that we didn't go through. That one, that one, that one. Those were our frowny faces from before. So you can go ahead and pick up that frowny face that you didn't pick up and knit through on your I-cord. Push your needle all the way through and then go through purlwise and off and all the way through. Okay? Now things are loose and kind of wonky, so we need to go back and tighten things up a little bit. Now it looks like I pulled mine reasonably well, but this one looks a little tight, so I'm gonna loosen that up a little bit. Okay, then I gotta loosen this one. And you're just gonna work your way all the way around on your grafting and kind of adjust the stitches so they look. You want the tension on these grafted stitches to match the tension on the stitches around them. So it looks like there's no graft. It looks like there's just a continuous I-cord. And it looks like this one's a little bit tight, so I'm gonna pull that one. Pull this one a little. So you're just kind of adjusting them till it looks, you know, good. All right, so then this one is loose, but that's okay because when we weave this end in, it'll pull it down. So we're gonna weave our end in through the middle of our I-cord. See that? My needle is going through the middle of our I-cord. And you come out about 1 inch away from where you went in, at the bottom of your I-cord, and pull it. See how that pulls that stitch in? Now, when you go back to anchor it, make sure that you leave at least 1 leg of something between where you went in, because you don't want to go in right where you came out, otherwise it'll just slip right out. So you need to leave at least 1 leg. So here's the leg that I'm going to go around. So you can see I came out here. I'm going over that leg and in again, and I'm pushing my needle through the middle of that I-cord. Okay, and come back out here, about 1 inch away.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And if you'd like to see more, hit the subscribe button. Happy knitting!